And in Venezuela, Attorney General Tarek William Saab expressed Monday the unequivocal and clear rejection by the nation's Republican Moral Council of the U.S. government's criminal campaign against the integrity of constitutional President Nicolás Maduro. William Saab stated that imperialism has attempted to use the FARC and the fight against drug trafficking as a tool to criminalize Venezuela and justify unilateral coercive measures which have been discredited and have not prospered. Saab also pointed out that this attack on the Venezuelan president is unprecedented in the Western Hemisphere, and in this regard he described the actions of the United States as unprecedented in the 21st century, denouncing the attempt to legitimize political aggressions through discredited narratives. US President Donald Trump said Monday that his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin is willing to end the Ukrainian crisis. The statement was made after Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House on Monday, where he affirmed that the Russian leader Vladimir Putin really wants to end the conflict as soon as possible. The US President described as wonderful the fact that the Russian head of state had come to the United States to meet with him, and so asserted that he will discuss proposals to resolve the Ukrainian conflict with his European allies and that they must be sustainable.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. If I can, first of all, thank you for the invitation and thank you very much for your
efforts. In the midst of the battle, we need to construct. Every threat has made us stronger. We are very much attentive. The level we have today for the development of the country and the deployment of forces, we didn't have it on the year 2017. And either on 2018, either on 2019, 2020, every year we have had a qualitative step forward in every working front. All of those fronts, we have resumed them in a spectacular way through a national debate in these plans that you approved and the Republic has now. For you to take some notes, and this can be translated into actions, real actions and effective actions. Everyone here, Vice President of the government, Vice Presidents, Ministers here present today, governors, majors, women and men, leaders of the bases, of the 7 transformations. Which one is the transformation that today can and must articulate as a priority of a central line, the joint effort of the 7 transformations that are on the moving? The transformation number 3, the 30, which is the guarantee of sovereignty, integrity, national integrity and the national union, and peace and citizen security. We need to put it from here towards the Congress and all the debates we need to put forward. You, Elias, who are in that commission, we need to formulate every idea of construction of the T number 3 that is well designed and very balanced. We must prioritize. What do we must prioritize of the 3T? In first place, the establishment of the quadrants of peace in the 5,336 communal circuits. Every communal circuit needs to have 1 quadrant of peace. Quadrant of peace with all of the equipment of technology and capacity of response and defense of the territory of the country, from the north to the south, from the east to the west. inch by inch of Venezuela, to make Venezuela a safe country against mercenaries and narco traffickants. We need to have quadrants of peace for the people to live at peace in tranquility and to enjoy their spaces, boulevards, parks, communities. We need to see how beautiful Venezuela is in that matter. At this hour, many people see us and listen to us, enjoying on their backyards, which is a great surprise for the migrants who come back to the country. Many of those migrants have said to me face to face, President, sometimes we feel ashamed of leaving the country and coming back to this country and look at this country that is so much beautiful and not help to build that beautiness. Now that we are back to the country, we want to work together to keep embellishing this country. That's what they have said to me. Another key element, attention, of this plan, it is to deploy all of our capacity, military capacity in the territory and by sectors, to establish the capacity of the national militias, revolutionary militias in every territory of the country. The militia has two components, the territorial one and the bodies of combatants. Who of you are militiamen and women? The guacamayas arrived. It is true what I'm saying. The guacamayas are here. We are saved. Look, the guacamaya plan was real. Guacamayas are militia, are part of the militias of the country. The territorial militias activated this week. I'm going to activate a special plan to guarantee the coverage of over 4,500 militiamen and women from all the national territory, militias prepared, activated and armed, and also to keep moving forward on the plan of activation of the militias of the farmer militias with a new union of farmers, Ezequiel Zamora, and also with the bodies, with the working people and workspaces of the country, peace, tranquility, sovereignty, guaranteed. In third place, I invited we defined 3 binational zones of peace and development, of joint development, economic development and social work between that huge border of the Amazon and Castilleta that we have with our brother nation, daughter of Bolívar, Bolivia, our sister below Bolivia, the profound, the great Bolivia. Bolivia the libertarian. The number 1 zone, it is formed by the Venezuelan part of Zulia and Táchira, and the zone number 2 is the wide latitude of the territory of Apure, and the number 3 zone of the lung of the world, the Amazon. Here, the 4 governors of those territories, the governor of Zulia, Luis Caldera, the governor of Táchira, Freddy Ali, Bernal Rosales also is present here, the governor of Apure, Wilmer Rodriguez, and also the governor of the Amazon, Miguel Rodriguez, men and women. Very good. All of the governors of all of the border municipalities with Colombia are here present as well. Stand up, please, the municipalities of Zulia, Táchira, Apure. Very young people, young women and men. So I believe that we have arrived, and this task is for you in a very special way, in a perfect union, military, police and civilian union. We need to activate the binational zone number 1 in all that has to do with the mobility, transport, plain cooperation through all of that region that extends towards Táchira and Zulia, for it to be a peace of coexistence of peace between Colombia and Venezuela. We need peace, we want peace and the union of forces. For our development, we wish for our objectives to be fulfilled, those who were proposed by Gustavo Petro, the president of Colombia. He proposed, Petro said, I listened from him, and he said that in the Catatumbo region in Colombia, there are over 50,000 hectares of coca leaves, and he has proposed himself to substitute them. And on our side, there is not even one single coca leaf. Venezuela is a free territory from leaves and harvest of cocaine, of marijuana. We are a free territory from that. We are free from that. We have a method. In a humble way, we can share our method with our brothers in Bolivia, Colombians as well. Contact for peace, for work, for the prosperity of both nations, and for the defense of South America as a zone free from felonies, violence, for the defense of the South American region, as it is declared by the CELAC Declaration as a zone of peace. The declaration of the CELAC of 2014 in Havana, proposed by the great General of Army, Raúl Castro Ruz, as it was declared by the 33 states that voted unanimously to declare Latin America and the Caribbean as a zone of peace. And that is why Juan Manuel Santos received the support, and also he betrayed that decision. It is a key element, the binational zone number 1. We need to speak about this, because sometimes they put some people on the Colombian side to declare that Maduro proposed, that Maduro said. No. Colombia has its own institutions, has its constitution, its laws. In the framework of the Colombian institutions, they have their army, their police forces, their mayors, governors as well, their deputies, senators. Well, you have your system. In the framework of our constitution, we have our own. I never proposed in this period for us to unite our armies, not at this moment. We were a single army once, and that is why we achieved independence and freedom. But there are some people that wants to remain, to divide us. We were the United Army of Liberador Simón Bolívar, who offer the freedom of those who are part of Colombia now. Never forget this, military men of Colombia. Do not forget that you are daughters and sons of Bolivar, and there will come the day in which we can unite ourselves again, but not yet. Not yet. In a little while, we need to coordinate. At this moment, we need to coordinate, right? Because our seas, our skies and lands, we need to defend ourselves. We need ourselves to free them and to patrol them ourselves. No empire can come here to touch our sacred soil of Venezuela and should never touch any South American soil nor any land of any part of the world. No empires with the insolence can touch sacred lands of Bolivar. It's enough. Enough with the humiliation. It is quite a humiliation already that there are military bases of the United States in Colombian lands. It is a humiliation for the land that Bolivar offered all of his sacrifice. These actions that we do is this. You need to take notes ahead of the Congress, of the Extraordinary Congress, to keep moving forward. So, in conclusion, that defeated, that Paz had its greatest expression in the leadership of General of our great Ezequiel Zamora, that were treasons, traitors. I always thought that from the United Socialist Party of Venezuela we need to build what Commander Chavez left us, which is building a powerful movement of movements adapted to every circumstance, every historical circumstances, with a capacity to be constantly in renovation, a powerful movement that is a powerful political force. So I think that we need to go through our concepts through which we form leaders of the party of the youth and our people. And we need to be more than a party. We need to be a force on the movement, a force to be determinant in the history of Venezuela of this century, a powerful movement of the people, of the vanguard of the people. Also, I think that the party needs to assimilate its theory, to refresh its theory of being a party of government. It sounds weird. It sounds rare, I know, because where does the party govern? In which state? In which municipality? We need to go through this. You're not understanding what is a government party. How do we exercise the character of the government, and what is a party of the revolution? What is that is not drawn on the walls, but it has opinions, positions, and lets the government action. And I hand myself to the party and the Great Patriotic Pole for them to conduct the Bolivarian agenda that I led, and for the state, I think it is the great vaccine against against caudillismo. What it is, this phenomena, is the maximum concentration of individualism and egocentric and groupality that denies the collective project founded by Chavez. It denies it. Those who assume this model denies the Bolivarian revolution. And if you want, you can overthrow me. But we need to have a transformation of the egocentric model, individualist, brutalist, and to overcome this caudillism that is very harmful. It is very harmful. The individualism is very harmful for the revolution. That is a topic that has been mentioned several times by Jorge Rodriguez. We have debated it a lot. You can play a key role as a leader, but all of those who go a little bit up that promote division. I wrote here a piece of a note about this topic. The struggle against individualism and vanity and division. The struggle against the battle against sectarism and division. We need to have methods, loving methods and that unify us with all the people of Venezuela and all the revolutionary forces of the country. And here I mentioned Ho Chi Minh, that with his strategy and his leadership led the Vietnamese people against imperialism and against French also empire. We need to unite everyone, those against the main enemy. That was his slogan, and that is ours, to unite everyone who can be united for the construction of a country of peace and prosperous in the face of imperialism. We need to break the practices that divide us, not just in the face of parties and political movements that also are coming back from the great patriotic pole. You who are leading the curvo, most of them are promoting divisions, and so there is no justification. Division promotes division as well. We are not in times of divisions. We have never been, and we should never be at the political movement that divides. We need to be a powerful, loving force that unite all of the patriots of Venezuela, all of those who want a free homeland, those who defend the nationality, the Venezuelan nationality, and the future of peace of our country. So, it is very important for us to take notes, and how lawyers say, to act in consequence against sectarism, egocentrism, and also against divisions. Never underestimate divisions. They go one place to the other. They find ways, they disguise. How the imperialism has bet to divide us from the inside. today, you know that we have conclusions on the consequences of individualism and divisions. Those who understood, this is a very clear message. How much have imperialism bet when they see people with so much ego, they touch them. When they see someone with some weakness, they get advantage of this. But these guys with non-governmental organizations, as it is demonstrated, they receive thousands of euros and dollars. Even there are some cases in which they not only have received a lot of money from the US aid, which is the instrument of the US imperialism, to destabilize and overthrow progressive governments in the world, to infiltrate in the political power, to govern the world, the US aid and other instruments, other tools, but also like the case of the German foundations called Konrad Adenauer that has financed for decades sectors of the extreme right wing, but also have created a self-called Rosa Luxemburger. Have you heard about this? Rosa Luxemburger is our hero. Our hero of the authentic socialists, of the revolutionaries, authentic revolutionaries. They founded a non-governmental organization, Rosa Luxemburger, to capture and finance people that sometimes were from the left or simulate to be from the left, or both things at a time, and they said, stick to the speech to destroy Maduro from the inside, to destroy the revolutionary government, to destroy the confidence of people who can be feeling discontent. And that is how they are articulating. They touch one people, that other, and that is how a network is filled. I'm not going to be speaking anymore about this. There is an investigation in the making. It is not the first time that happens, not in Venezuela, and it's not going to be the last one, but we need to be very careful, because divisions and the money that is allocated by imperialism to boost from the left to overthrow our movement that we need to keep strengthening with truth, with sacrifice, with struggle, and with the solutions of the problems of our people. There are people that is weak. Sorry, but I qualify this as in this term. There are people that is weak. And at a certain circumstance, they react in this way. It is very easy to target Maduro and the revolution. It is very easy. Thank you. Beforehand, thank you. But your weakness is not going to be my weakness, because I am moving forward. And there are a lot of people, these guys, that is not capable of saying the truth, and that are very cowardly. I was not born on the day of the cowards. If we have arrived here, has not been because we were cowards or because we are warm people. No. It is because we have been consequent with the sacred idea that we have reached with Hugo Chavez. Our people is before anything else. On Monday, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum described the joint environmental project with Guatemala and Belize as historic. The presidents of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, of Guatemala, Bernardo Arévalo, and the Prime Minister of Belize, John Briceño, signed a trilateral agreement with the goal of protecting and preserving the biocultural corridor of the Great Maya Jungle. The agreement will strengthen environmental cooperation and ecological integrity, benefiting 7,000 species, of which 200 are endangered, 50 are priority species, and 250 are endemic to Mexico. The government emphasized that this agreement was only possible thanks to the friendly ties of cooperation and a shared vision to promote the prosperity of the peoples who inhabit the jungle.
La declaratoria del Corredor Biocultural Gran Selva Maya.
The declaration of the Great Maya Jungle Cultural Corridor, 5.7 million hectares of biocultural protection, because it is not only about protecting nature.
No solamente se trata de proteger la naturaleza,
the ecosystem or ecosystems, but also the population that is living in the area that was benefited. This is a historical event. The Prime Minister of Belize, the President of Guatemala, and the President of Mexico had never met before. In this case, Guatemala had also had governments that found it very difficult to meet with Mexico, but now they have, and it was truly a good meeting.
Colombia prepares to host the 5th Amazon Summit, which on August 22nd will bring together representatives of 8 nations alongside indigenous communities. The preparatory sessions aim to establish a joint declaration to strengthen measures addressing the climatic, environmental, economic, security, and social challenges facing the Amazon. Among the authorities expected to attend are the presidents of Colombia and Brazil, as well as delegations from countries such as Bolivia, Suriname, and Venezuela. The Amazon Summit builds on a process that began with the 2023 Belém Declaration, which set 113 goals to protect the Amazon and reduce inequalities. And in Venezuela, Attorney General Tarek William Saab expressed Monday the unequivocal and clear rejection by the nation's Republican Moral Council of the U.S. government's criminal campaign against the integrity of constitutional President Nicolás Maduro. William